All right, so I'm going to read through this question. I want you to answer this. Are we given the arc length or are we given the sector area to start with? What are we given? What are we asked to find? If the arc length with the central angle of 135 degrees is 15 pi over 4 centimeters, what would the area of the sector be? What are we given to start with? Arc length or sector area? Yeah. We're given the arc length, and we got to find the sector area. Right? So we go. Rough sketch here. I've got a circle whose central angle is 135 degrees. I know the arc length, that I'll just kind of shade over the top in blue, has a length of 15 pi over 4 centimeters long. We want to find the area of the sector, given this information. But what am I missing first? What would be important about the circle for me to know first? Radius. I don't know how big the circle is. I got to find the radius. So in part 1, before I can find the area, I got to find the radius, because the area is defined in terms of the radius. Find the missing radius. How long is it from the center of the circle to the edge? Right, so let's set up a formula here. How many degrees does our circle represent? Does our arc represent? Out of 360. That's what part of the total circumference. What's the formula for the circumference? Any circle circumference is given by what formula?
C2 pi.
I know my proportion of the total circumference has a length of 15 pi over 4. There's a formula for us to work backwards and find the missing radius, like you said. Hey, I got to find the area of the sector, but I first need to know what the radius is. We're going to use our circumference and arc length to find the missing radius first. Reduce down 135 out of 360. Take a good guess, Dylan. What do you think 135 and 360 can both be divided by? 135 and 360, you're thinking what? 135 divided by 5 is 27. 360 divided by 5 is 72. Keep going. I think I can still divide something from 27 and 72. Go a little bit faster. How about 9? What's 130? What's 27 divided by 9? What's 72 divided by 9? So when I reduce down 135 out of 360, it becomes 3/8 of the circle. Our goal is to find the missing radius. So eventually I have to solve this formula. I have to solve this equation for r. Let's multiply across here. What's 3 times 2 pi?
6 pi.
6 pi over 8 times r equals 15 pi over 4. How do I get rid of multiplying? I got to solve for the radius now. How do I get rid of multiplying the radius by 6 pi over 8? What can I do instead of multiplying by 6 pi over 8 to cancel it out?
Divide.
Okay? Dividing by a fraction is still the same thing as multiplying by the
Opposite.
reciprocal. Let's multiply each side times 8 over 6 pi. Because when I do that to each side, 8's cancel out here on the left, as do the 6 pi's cancel. Radius is equal to, let's see here, I've got to take 15 pi over 4 times 8 pi over 6. Does anything cross cancel? What do you think, Parker? Give me something that can cancel out between 15 pi and 6 pi.
3.
3. I divide 3 into 15, that makes 5. I divide 3 into 6, that makes 2.
You can do the 4 and 8, so it'd be 1 and 2.
Anything else cancel out that I haven't gotten rid of yet?
No.
I think there's
Oh,
one
the
last
2's
thing.
cancel each other out.
Sure, and there's one more thing I was thinking of. Pi's cancel out too.
Oh.
So
5.
I just multiply across. 5 times 2 is 10. On bottom, 1 times 2 is 2. So 10 divided by 2 are just, our radius is 5 centimeters. Okay. The radius is 5 centimeters. I'll label that in the circle. Have we answered what the question asked us to provide?
No.
Because now we're going to do action. What is it asking me to do now? All right. Area of the sector. Now I know how big the circle is. I can answer what area is inside this slice of the pie, this slice of the circle. I know I've got 135 of 360. Let's make a proportion. How do you find the area of the circle? The whole thing, all of it would be worth how much? How do you find the area of a circle? What do you say, Shaylee? What's the area of a circle formula? I need pi r squared. Our radius we know is 5. So what's 5 squared? What's the area if our radius is 5? What's 5 squared? So pi r squared, pi times 5 squared gives us an area, 25 pi. All of the circle, all 360 degrees worth, has an area of 25 pi. So what's the area for our part? 135 degrees. Now it's pretty much just the same as working through the proportion from your warm-up. We reduced this down, Dylan, a minute ago. What's 135 out of 360 reduced all the way down to make? 3/8. Reduced to 8 as x is to 25 pi. Cross multiply 8 times x, 3 and 25 pi makes 75. Divide by 8. 75 pi over 8 should be our final answer. What would the label be? What units? Centimeters. So, yes, sir. There's a good example of converting the arc length into the area.